The Cursed Doll of Mrinalini. I'm Mr. X. Listen closely. What I'm about to tell you isn't just a story. It's a shadow that lingers long after the words are spoken. A listener from Dhaka shared this with me. He's told me other tales before, but none like this. This doll, its eyes, once you meet them, you won't know the comfort of sleep again. I've always been drawn to old things, especially objects buried under the dust of time, their stories lost and forgotten. My name is Ion. I'm a freelance photographer by profession, and my work takes me to different places across the country. In my spare time, I hunt through antique shops, abandoned zamindari estates, and auction houses. My collection includes rusted swords, vintage gramophones, and all manner of strange curiosities. But my true passion is dolls. I have a compulsion to collect them, dolls from different countries, different eras. That time I had traveled to Mymensingh to photograph an old zamindari mansion. On my way back, I spotted a small, half-collapsed shop by the roadside. The weathered signboard read, Puratata Sampar, Antique Collection. The name alone pulled me in. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of old wood and dust. The shopkeeper, an elderly man with thick glasses, glanced at me and smiled faintly. I wandered through the cluttered aisles, scanning the shelves. Then, in a shadowed corner beneath a pile of old rags, my eyes locked onto something. A wooden doll. It was plain, unremarkable in every way, except for its eyes. Deep black, unmoving, alive. It felt as though the doll was staring directly at me. It wore a faded red frock, threadbare with age. Its hair was tangled, and a faint scratch marred one side of its face. I asked the old man about it. His smile faded. He hesitated, then spoke quietly. "Sir, it's better if you don't take that one. That doll is cursed." I laughed. "Cursed? Why? What happened to it?" The old man paused, drew a long breath, and began. "This doll has been in my possession for nearly 50 years. My father found it in an abandoned house. They say its name is Mrinalini, and they say that anyone who looks into its eyes will never sleep again." I leaned forward, curious. Never sleep? What exactly happens? Everyone who bought this doll returned it. No one could keep it long. They all said the same thing. At night, they felt someone watching them. When they closed their eyes, the doll's face appeared. Some even claimed they saw it moving on its own, changing positions in the room. I laughed again. Superstition, I thought. Nothing more. "I'll take it," I said. "How much?" The old man stared at me for a long moment. Then he sighed. "I warned you, sir. Whatever happens after this, I'm not responsible." I paid him. The price was low. I placed the doll in my bag and left for Dhaka. All the way home, I kept thinking about it. A cursed doll. Looking into its eyes steals your sleep. Ridiculous. When I got home, I placed Mrinalini in my display case alongside my other dolls. Behind the glass, her dark eyes seemed even more vivid, more alive. I stared at her for a moment, then went to eat dinner. After the meal, I glanced back at the case. I could have sworn the doll had shifted slightly. I told myself it was my imagination. I was tired, that was all. But that night, sleep wouldn't come. I lay in bed, but my mind kept turning. I felt like someone was walking around my room. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those deep black eyes staring back at me. I felt her presence beside my bed, watching me in silence. The unease grew with every passing hour. Finally, I sat up and turned on the light. I looked at the display case. My stomach dropped. Mrinalini had moved. She was no longer where I'd placed her. She now stood at the front of the case, facing the glass door, facing me. I tried to calm myself. Maybe I had placed her there and forgotten. I opened the case and moved her back, but my hands were shaking. That night, I didn't sleep at all. When dawn came, I felt my eyelids grow heavy, but the moment I drifted off, I was jolted awake by a nightmare. In the dream, Mrinalini sat on my chest, staring down at me with those horrible eyes, smiling. I woke drenched in sweat, my body trembling. I was beginning to understand. The old man's words weren't just superstition. There was something inside that doll. The next few days were a living nightmare. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, her face appeared. I felt her watching me constantly, no matter where I was or what I was doing. My work suffered. I couldn't focus. My face grew hollow. Dark circles formed under my eyes. My friends noticed. One of them, Ronnie, came to my apartment. I told him everything. At first, he didn't believe me. "Dude, you're having a mental breakdown. You need to see a doctor." "It's not in my head, Ronnie. It's that doll." "Fine, show me." I led him to the display case. He stared at Mrinalini and scoffed. This is what's ruining you? It's just a wooden doll." "Look into its eyes," I said. He did. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he shrugged. "I don't see anything, just 2 pieces of black glass." "Stay the night," I said. "Then you'll understand." He agreed.
That night, we ate together and prepared for bed. I told Roni to keep an eye on the display case. He laughed it off. We both lay down. I couldn't sleep, as usual. Roni tossed and turned for a while, then drifted off. It was nearly 2 in the morning when Roni's scream tore through the silence. I bolted upright. Roni was sitting in bed, trembling, his eyes wide with terror. He pointed a shaking finger toward the case. The doll! I looked. Mrinalini had moved again. She now stood in the center of the case, facing us directly. Roni's voice cracked. "I saw it. I saw it walking." I tried to calm him, but my own throat was dry with fear. We both knew this doll could not stay in my apartment another night. The next morning, Roni and I decided to return the doll to the shop in Mymensingh. We drove in silence, the doll wrapped in cloth in the back seat. I kept glancing in the rearview mirror. The bag seemed to move, ever so slightly. When we arrived at the shop, the old man looked unsurprised to see us. "I knew you'd come back," he said quietly. I placed the wrapped doll on his counter. "You were right. It's cursed. Please, take it back." He sighed. "There is a way to be free of it, but it's dangerous. Tell us, we'll do anything." He leaned forward. "You must return the doll to its original owner." "Who is that?" And then he told us a story that froze our blood. 60 or 70 years ago, there was a powerful zamindar in this region named Ram Ratan Chowdhury. He had one daughter, Mrinalini. He loved her more than life itself. She adored dolls, so he commissioned a craftsman from Kolkata to create a wooden doll in her exact likeness. The red frock the doll wears was modeled after her favorite dress. But one day, Mrinalini fell ill with an unknown disease. She died at the age of 7. The zamindar was destroyed. In his grief, he refused to cremate her body. Instead, he locked her and her beloved doll in a secret chamber within the mansion and sealed the door. He believed she would return one day. After that, misfortune plagued the family. The zamindar himself died soon after. The estate was abandoned. People said Mrinalini's restless spirit wandered the halls. Decades later, the old man's father explored the mansion and found the hidden chamber. He brought the doll home, but from that day, their family was plagued by illness and misfortune. The old man's father eventually placed the doll in this shop, hoping its true owner would one day reclaim it. "You must return the doll to that chamber," the old man said. "Place it exactly where it was found. Only then will you be free." "Where is the mansion?" I asked. "About an hour from here, but be warned, finish before sunset, and do not take anything inside." We drove to the estate in silence. The doll sat in the back seat. I felt its eyes on us the entire way. When we arrived, the sun was already low in the sky, and the mansion loomed before us, a crumbling ruin choked by vines and shadows. Broken windows gaped like empty eye sockets. The air was unnaturally still. We stepped inside. The interior was worse. Dust coated everything. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling like funeral shrouds. Our flashlight beams cut through the darkness, revealing long corridors and collapsed staircases. We made our way deeper into the mansion, searching for the hidden chamber. Every step echoed. Every shadow seemed to move. I kept hearing faint whispers, a child's laughter, soft and distant. Finally, we found the hidden chamber, a small, nearly invisible door beside an old prayer room. It was stuck shut. We shoved it open with all our strength. The door groaned, and a wave of rot and decay rolled out. Inside was a tiny room. A wooden chest sat in one corner, a small cot in another, and in the center of the floor, drawn in chalk, was a perfect circle. This was where Mrinalini had been sealed away. I pulled the doll from the bag. In the flashlight's beam, its eyes gleamed. I swear it smiled. I placed it carefully in the center of the chalk circle. The moment I set it down, I felt a weight lift from my chest. "Let's go," I whispered. We ran to it, pulling, pounding, screaming. It wouldn't budge. The temperature plummeted. Our breath misted in the air. The flashlight flickered. And then we heard it, a child's crying, coming from the chest. We turned, slowly. The doll had moved. It was no longer in the circle. It was standing. Its tiny legs were trembling, as though learning to walk. "We have to open the chest," I said, my voice barely a whisper. Roni shook his head, but I knew. The old man's father had found the doll inside the chest. That's where it belonged. We stumbled to the chest and pried it open. Inside were moth-eaten clothes and a small, stained pillow. Nothing else. The doll was crawling toward us, its head tilted, its smile widening. I grabbed it. The moment I touched it, a shock ran through my body. I hurled it into the chest. "Close it!" I screamed. We slammed the lid shut. From inside came a piercing shriek, inhuman, feral, enraged. Then, silence. The door creaked open. We ran. We didn't stop running until we were back in the car, tearing down the road, the mansion shrinking behind us. That night, for the first time in weeks, I slept. But even now, when I close my eyes, I still see her sometimes, Mrinalini, standing in the dark, smiling, waiting. And I wonder, did we really seal her away? Or did we just give her exactly what she wanted?